If you're taking your dog to the vet, there is one thing I highly recommend you do before you leave the building, and that is to ask for your records to be emailed to you. I want you to have updated records every chance you get, living inside of your email, living on your phone, where you can easily access them should you need them, because there are so many reasons that you might actually need these records for. So for me, anytime I'm taking my dog to the vet and we're getting shots, we're getting a checkup, we are dealing with a health issue, anytime we're there, I want to make sure I have updated records, unless it's so minor, like I'm just picking something up or we're just kind of going in for a routine check. I want to make sure I have those records, even for the smallest things, because you might need these for many, many reasons. Now, if you are somebody who has moved from one vet to another vet, you know the actual hassle of trying to get your vet to email those records to the other vet. It takes forever. Sometimes they don't do it. Sometimes pieces are missing. It's a huge issue when you change vets. So if you're somebody who does want to change vets in the future, and you are somebody who doesn't necessarily like confrontation, this is a key aspect for you, because if you already have those records, you don't even have to tell your vet you're leaving. If you don't like the confrontation, just go to the new vet. The old vet does not even need to know. You have your records, you can take them with you, and you can go see that new vet and decide if you like them or not. If you are going to be at home and you're going to have an emergency on off hours from your vet, you're also going to need those records, because if they are not affiliated with your vet and your vet just says, well, we're off, you can go call this company because they're the only ones who are open and you can pay hundreds of dollars for things that we're not going to do for you because we're closed. Having those records, really, really important, because they aren't going to be able to call up your vet after hours and get those records. So having all of the immunizations, having all of the health things, having all of the checks and all of the test results and all those things in your hand to be able to give an emergency vet is really important. It's also really important if you're traveling. If you are leaving the vicinity of being able to get your dog quickly to the vet, you have to have those things, because they may or may not be able to reach your vet in order to deal with whatever's happening while you're traveling, while you're doing something that's outside of where you live. So you want to make sure you have those records. But you also need to make sure you have those records, because vets sometimes miss things. If you don't go in and actively check those records, they could have forgotten to write things. They could have, like, I've had my vet give my dogs the same immunization twice because they just messed up the records, and then they came in and told me, oops. By being able to go in and actively look, I can follow and I can track if they have dates wrong, if they have medications wrong, if they have something that is not cohesive with what we have gone through. I'm then able to correct that and let them know. You can check to make sure that they've got your dog's records correct, the dog's name spelled correctly. So many of them spell things wrong, to make sure that they have everything updated. I cannot tell you, since I've moved to this new state, how many times I've been through 2 vets here. I cannot tell you how many times they have messed up their own records. They did not know when they gave my dog shots or what shots they gave my dog, because I didn't check the records, because I didn't have access to them at my previous vet. Like, they wouldn't give them to me. I could not correct them after they made mistakes. And so I would show up a year later for our annual, and they're like, well, we have to do all these things. They were incorrect because they had already given them to me. So it's really, really important, if you have access to it, to go through those things. And now that I have learned that I can have access to my records, I will demand them. I will not go to a place that will not give me my records when I ask. I want them in my inbox, and if you do not give them to me, this is not a good, healthy vet. Don't go there. So you want to make sure that you have them and you update them frequently. I know it can feel kind of confrontational, kind of obnoxious to every single time ask for those updated records, but I would rather you annoy them a little bit, to take 10 seconds to email you the records, literally 10 seconds to email you those records, than to not have them if you need them. Because even for me, my mindset is, well, I don't want to upset these people all the time. I don't want to constantly be bugging them. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be a problem. And so I don't ask for it every single time. And that means now there's new things in those records that I don't have on mine. Should I need them when I'm traveling? Should I need them when I'm going to have an emergency and I have to go to that emergency animal hospital? I want to make sure that I have the most updated records, because I have to be a responsible pet parent for my dogs the best way that I can be. And for me, that is making sure I have those updated records. So If anything happens, if your dog is sick, if your dog is on medication, if they have their shots, if they are going and having tests run, I highly recommend that you are getting those records. And if you're like taking your dog to have test results done, to test run and then get those results, you don't have to ask for it the day you're there. You can wait a week for those results to come back in and then ask based on those results. If you're going to get medications or if you're clear or whatever it happens to be, ask for it then. You can email them, you can call them, you can text them depending on your vet and get those records a little bit later on. It doesn't have to be right that second. It can be in the future. And that way they don't have to know if you are changing vets or if you're checking their work or if you're whatever. You can literally say, hey, I just want to have updated records in case there's an emergency and I have to go to the animal hospital, or in case I'm traveling and I need to see somebody else while I'm traveling. I just want to have those updated records. Frame it in a way that is positive. This is just in case I need them for something that is out of your reach. It doesn't have to be, well, I don't trust you. So ask for your records, keep them on your phone, keep them on your computer, keep them, I like to keep them in my email too. So I'll actually save those records to my phone so I can find them, but I will keep those emails. So even if something happens to the documentation that I have, I can go into my email, type in my vet's email address and find those records and pull those back up. So I keep them in multiple places, or you can email it to yourself. You can put them in Google Drives, like you can put them in multiple places that you can access even if you have a corrupted file somewhere. That way you will always have that. And if you are a co-parent with a person, if you have somebody else that you're working with, that person can also be on those documentation pieces as well in the Google Doc, in the file, in the shared file, in the whatever it happens to be. You can like screenshot those and put them in a shared file on your iPhones, whatever you need to do. Have it so everybody can access it when they need it, because you do not know when an emergency situation is going to come up. And then you have them just in case you need them to switch vets or to get your shots at like a clinic or whatever it happens to be, so that you're not paying those extreme vet prices for things like shots if you can go get them from somewhere else. So there's lots of options for this, but having that information is incredibly important and incredibly powerful to enable you to be the best dog parent that you can be. Follow along for more daily videos helping you navigate the world of dog parenthood to make your life as easy and simple as possible while leveling up your pup and the things you're doing with the tools and the resources, the education, the fun, the travel, the documentation through photos and videos of your dog's life. We are leveling you up here every single day in our upcoming videos. We'll see you then.